Welcome to the second video in this series, and today I'm going to be cooking one of my mum's absolute favourites. It's Somerset Pork. Just like the last video, I'm going to be starting with a good mirepoix, a vegetable base. If you don't know what I mean by a mirepoix, check out the previous video in this series as I go a little bit more in depth into what that is. So to this pan, I'm going to add my chunky onions, celery and my garlic, a little mix up, and let that saute away. While you can hear that cooking behind me, I'm going to turn my attention to my pork. Now I've gone for a really nice lump of pork shoulder. Again, it's a low and slow cook to get the best flavour out of it. So now I'm just going to dice this up. You could do strips if you wanted to. I'm going for chunky. And a nice bit of chopped smoked bacon as well. I'm going to be following some similar principles with this. So the pork, just lightly dusting with flour. Again, a bit of salt and pepper. And a good mix. Get rid of any excess. So now we're starting to get these vegetables, they're starting to break down, starting to soften, starting to colour a wee bit. I want to add another layer of flavour to this. So I'm going to add in this bacon. And give it a good stir. Now there's two things that are going to make this proper Somerset pork. One of which is these. These are jazz apples, really sweet, but you can use a Bramley or whatever you can get your hands on. I'm just going to slice these up. Now these are going to break down, so you don't need to be too precious with them. But to recap then, I got my mirepoix, my vegetables, my smoked bacon, add pork, stir in. Let that seal off a little bit. Starting to get a good seal on this now. So in go my apples. And I'm also going to pop in there just a little bit of dry sage. I'd use fresh if I could find some, but I couldn't this morning. As you can probably see there, sediment's beginning to build up on the bottom. That's a really good sign that I'm getting all the juices out of this, extracting as much flavour as possible. Now last thing I've got to go in here is cider. Whole bottle in, unless you want to try a bit, and just begin, gently get that sediment off the bottom. That's what's going to thicken this up. Now just top this up with a little water, kettle, that'll do, and this can simmer away now for a good 40 minutes to an hour. Or if you're in a slow cooker, you can pop this on in the morning and this will be ready come home time. Now you could just eat the pork as it is and it would be absolutely stunning, but I want to take that to that next level. First thing I'm going to do is thinly slice some potato. Not too thin, not too thick, about a pound coin-ish. Don't have to be too precise. Pour your pork into a tray, so it'll be a little bit like this, and just start popping these potatoes along the top, overlapping them slightly. They are going to sink, don't worry about if they sink. If you've got enough potato, you can double layer it if you want. Get nice and crispy on the top, juicy underneath. Use a potato, go around the edges, they're the ones that are likely to sink the most anyway. Fill her up, a little bit of salt, not mega amounts, a little bit of pepper. Now into the oven, 40 minutes. So as the pork just out the oven with the obligatory bit of parsley, it looks, smells absolutely amazing. The potatoes crisp on the top, soft underneath, it's gorgeous. So that was my Somerset pork. Thank you once again very much for watching. If you are enjoying these videos, you can support me at my Patreon page, which is linked below, along with all my other social media platforms. I will see you next time.